Hello, everyone, and welcome to Play Dicely After Party. My name is Christy Clow, and this is the D&D Talkback Show where we, the cast of Play Dicely, talk about the last episode, which is episode 22, The Possessor. All right, let's just jump right on in. So this episode started with Abe's ritual. It was pretty boring, so I think we're just gonna skip.
Nothing happened.
Wow.
And then we went shopping for trinkets. Yeah.
And that was it. That was the episode.
I think that was everything that happened. So
it's really fun, guys. Good talk.
There was no big emotional conversations.
I don't think so.
Nah.
There definitely weren't three.
No.
All right. So we make our way to the temple. We kind of get our little cards punched for our points. So we should get a free ritual probably in about another 2. Would you say, Teni?
Yeah, Priesto card.
We gotta be getting there. How much money have we spent at that temple?
Bet a few.
Gotta be close to.
It's at least 500,
It's at
right? Because
least
the
500.
first one was 250.
great-
This one was 250.
And then how much is?
Well, I guess we didn't.
Well,
pay
it was a
for Ruth's
diamond.
Resurrection. We just stole the diamond.
Okay, so like
Like-
500 plus a diamond. That wasn't really ours to begin
So
with.
like 800, give or take.
Yikes.
Give or take.
Well, isn't Ray's Dead more expensive than
It's
Revivify?
500.
Okay, a cool 1,000.
Cool 1,000.
Pretty
Cool
good.
1,000.
They're gonna be upset that we're leaving.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, we have to live off this for a year.
Yeah.
Until they come back.
There's no government funding for the church anymore.
We're gonna come back and they're gonna have a plasma screen TV and a bunch of surround sound. They're gonna be decked the fuck out.
Hell yeah.
They do their sermons with a gilded microphone.
Yeah.
Um,
shit.
Yeah. So Abe had the ritual done in the name of the High Planetary, but also asked to have it done as part of Fish Talk and Fire Out, which was really touching. How did Draq feel about what?
For the record, I figured Walela was part of the High Planetary.
I
Just
thought about bringing it up in the moment. I was like, it's fine. It's not like we've got other gods in this party, but it's chill.
But Walela's part of that.
It's fine, yeah.
To be fair though, like would Elowen even like
No,
I mean,
Do you
like,
even
yeah,
want that?
yeah, like you have this relationship, but I don't picture it in the same way necessarily, really. Okay.
no. And Walila's not a god either, right?
Correct.
It's actually like the Arquette, which is part of the High Planetary.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is that Will is trying to become a god.
Right,
We-
exactly.
we
She isn't a
assume.
god yet.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
um
the stranger is trying to become a god.
No.
yeah, because they
It
are the
doesn't make
same.
Any sense.
Walela is just an alter ego.
It does
Doesn't
make
make-
sense though, Dallas, because
doesn't.
you get cursed to then want to have like another deity or something to help you solve it. So it makes sense to
Mhm.
me.
Okay,
Classic
you're gonna have to
bait and
explain it
switch.
to me a little bit more because it doesn't
Classic
make sense.
god move.
Classic god.
I can't speak for the gods, Dallas. You're just gonna figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
That's the job of the priests.
So what was your question, Christy?
Basically, how did you feel, Draq, about having Fish Talk like involved and part of this,
Oh.
especially because you had such a contentious like situation the night before?
Yeah. It was very touching to have Abe like want Draq's deity to be a part of this. And I think it just kind of speaks to, the party's relationship and its growth so far. But yeah, it was another, point in the other direction of, contentious versus, oh, okay, it's okay. Things are okay.
For sure.
How about you?
Oh, I didn't even think you were going to mention fire, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like you like said it, and I was like, oh, okay. I was fully convinced that you were just going to be like, yeah, can you throw fish talk in there too? That's it. So you're like, all right.
I don't even want the High Planetary, just fish talk.
Yep.
Brutal. Cool. Also, the description that you gave, Daddy, of like the initial part of the ritual where they're talking about like I think it was like yellow. You said right, like the dust of the component, like that yellow light, like filling the cracks in Abe's soul shard, and then like seeing like the red flashing through, but then also in his eyes too. Oh, it was so good. This whole session was like full of so many good visuals. I really liked it.
So cool. That
Thank
fight was the coolest thing.
The coolest.
Yeah, and that's where I was heading into. It's just that like, sorry, 1 sec. Great. Yeah, so Abe like then like going through to this other plane, or I don't even know what you would call it, if we would call it an area. I don't know.
I mean, plane's probably appropriate. Whether that's correct or not, we gets the point across.
Okay. Yeah. So finds himself in this other plane, and the way you described that was so freaking cool too. Because like, oh god, I could literally see it. It was so cinematic. Just like the swamp and the little motes of light and the ruins, and then like the red light underneath the water and all of that. Chef's kiss to you, Teni, for that.
Well, I can't take full credit for that, and Adam can probably speak a bit to that.
Ooh. Did you invent that, Adam?
Yes, I invented the descriptive phrases.
Well, excuse me. Did you invent that? Did you write the description of that area? Good God, sir.
Yeah, a bit of it.
Yeah, it was a collaboration. Like, he put some ideas forward, and I was like, all right, I'll take what I can, and I kind of reworked it because I was like, well, I got to find an appropriate battle map. So this is the battle map, and I'll describe it similarly.
You guys want to speak a little bit more about like how much collaboration you had with this whole ritual thing? Because I was kind of, I guess, not expecting it to go into a fight personally. Like, so how much did you guys like talk about it beforehand, and how much was just Teni or just Adam?
I think it was, well, so we had our talk with Maramus, and he was like, well, if you fix the shard, there'll only be one soul in it. And I stared at the ceiling for the next 12 hours thinking about that sentence. In
real life, or is that Abe?
Well, both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Abe loves a good ceiling stare. Sorry, I'm just looking at the document I did.
Personality traits. When Abe is meant to be sleeping, he stares at the ceiling.
Yep. And then I wrote a 7-page short story, basically.
Oh my god.
And propelling off
I want to
of
read
that
so bad.
Yeah, propelling off of that, I kind of created the scenario that became this session.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
So that-
what I wrote is very different, though. Like, you guys weren't even there.
Rude.
We kind of bullied our way into being there, yeah.
I didn't want to say anything.
You can say it. It's fine. Like, it is
Well,
really funny because, yeah, go ahead.
If you guys hadn't been there, I'd be dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was like one of the questions I have, I guess. More so, I thought originally more so for Teni, but knowing that it's a collaboration, like, because yeah, it was kind of like me being like perhaps like a little bit like aggressive about being like, you have to bring us. But Teni, were you nervous when he originally was planning on doing it himself, like knowing kind of what you had prepared?
Well, it was funny too, because like Adam said, like these have all just been kind of like throwaway comments, just improv, being like, oh yes, if you fix the shard, only theoretically only one soul could occupy that, right? And Adam went and followed that, and then he's like, I want to do this, and I was like, what? Okay, now I have to think about what are the implications, like, okay, what is going to be the rules of magic around this thing? And I'd originally thought, I'm like, this might need a few castings of Greater Restoration to fix this, but I was like, we'll just do this. This is gonna be great. So yeah, I was just kind of figuring out what the rules for this kind of restoration was gonna be, and then the episode where, or I guess the previous episode, Adam, where you were like, all right, I want to go make my appointment. I was like, I'm not ready.
That's why I wanted to do the appointment too. 'Cause I was like, I don't want to sit there and be like, Teni, it's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
Right
I knew it was going to be huge. I knew it was going to be cinematic. So I'm glad you were like, could we make an appointment for the morning? I was like, yes, because we've got a dragon fight coming up. So
Yeah.
we're not going to get both of these in.
So funny. I'm trying to imagine like what you would have done. Like, it's just,
It would have
we'll
been
come back
much
to it.
less exciting. And you know what? If Adam had gone to push for it, I probably would have reverted to that. You do it once, now we got to have 2 more greater restorations at some point. That's probably what I would have done as my stalling tactic.
Yeah.
When in doubt, just have the priests be busy.
Also
prepping
true.
a sermon. Be like, hey, we have mass tonight. We gotta be ready for that.
And it's Heroes Fest. Like,
And it's Heroes Fest. We gotta do a
And-
really big ceremony.
And you
Very
guys
busy.
know we've been very busy during Heroes Fest with all 8 of these people who have been coming in.
Oh yeah, that's
Well,
us. Oops,
hey.
what?
They celebrated. Now they're busy. Hey.
I have like a DM question for you, Teni. Like, obviously, it's a collaborative like story that we're telling, but do you like have any kind of like idea in your mind of like, because you're dropping in a lot of like the beats for our characters. So in your mind, like, were you expecting like this to happen so soon, like for Adam to push for that ritual so early on?
Like I said, until a couple episodes ago, I didn't even know this was a thing. And then Adam was like, I want to pursue this. And I was like, I said that, so I guess it is a thing. So, okay, let's think about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, sometimes improv has consequences, and you just have to go, okay, well, how do we make it work? How do we make this not be, because I pull so many rugs out from under you guys, this person's not who they say they are, or this person's not actually trustworthy. It's like, I don't want the world to be built on lies. So it's like, what rules of reality, you can't pull out the rug of the rules of reality. You can't do that.
Makes sense.
Fun as it is, though.
Yeah, maybe
Now
once
I
we
have
get into
infinite spell
Ryan's
slots.
things.
Now I have all the spell slots.
Yeah,
I cast
if
Counterspell 20 times, and I still have spell slots.
magic
You
is no
actually
longer usable
use
because an
Counterspell?
elder god is constantly
wish.
casting counterspell.
Unfortunate.
When rules go out the window, anything is possible.
Just to hop
Oh.
back into the fight itself. So we end up meeting 2 versions of Abe or whatever. One who is supposedly the true ferryman of the worthy, and one who is known as he whose hunger is unending. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is more kind of, I guess, in my realm, I suppose. But do we have any theories about who the hunger is/was, given what we know about Abe's lore so far? Because I was trying to like piece it, like this to us would have been an entirely new personality or soul, right? I think.
I feel like they're both just like their previous versions of the Chosen that got trapped. Like their souls were all kind of shoved in, which kind of begs the question of like, why? Why were 3 souls very quickly just kind of crammed into something like a last-ditch effort, right? And I remember earlier in the campaign, like we had the conversation about it. I think Abe kind of told us like this is the last attempt that they have or something. And then when they say the path is closed, it's like, oh, okay, so this was the real deal. Oh, okay. All right. So we just destroyed a religion. And that's going to have some consequences. I'm concerned. Yes, that's my thinking on it. Like this was the really true last attempt of getting this thing going. And
That's really interesting that you see that as like 3 different versions of the Chosen, because I hadn't considered that at all. Because I feel like it really felt like it was like one from like in the previous body, and then like just the ramifications of that going forward. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I
Adam,
saw
of
it
course,
as, like,
won't say.
I don't know. I don't know. Is it?
You
Spoilers.
can just tell us now, right?
Well, it might still
It
come
might
up.
still be
Yeah,
wrong.
this very well might be
Yeah.
information to keep under wraps for now. And even if it doesn't get learned in the campaign, this is something after the campaign that we can talk about.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
We just have to TPK next session, guys, that we can talk about.
Then we can learn.
If you all die, I can
Perfect.
share with you the secrets of the universe. How about that?
Well, you know,
Okay.
I had a quick little thought in my head as well. It's like, well, if we all die in the Abescape, like, you know, we're all triple exhausted, then Abe wakes up as this he whose hunger is unending motherfucker and just wipes the floor with all of us.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's what I said
That's
in
why
the battle.
Abe didn't want you guys there.
I was like, y'all ready for the series finale? I was being serious.
I did not even consider that.
Yeah.
Like even
Oh,
after,
I
it's
ju-
like,
I so didn't think that this was gonna go the way that it ended up going. Like I thought maybe we would end up fighting like some alternate version. I mean, what I really thought was gonna happen was Malden was like, if this was gonna work, Malden was never gonna like let you walk into that church, right? That's kind of what I thought was gonna happen. If he can control you, like he's just gonna be like, whoop, nope, going the other way. I so wasn't expecting this to go the way it did. I had 0% thought that this was gonna work today.
oh, same.
0%.
And you know what? I feel like this is an element that I have not informed Adam of, but the power dynamic between the ferryman and Malden is a very interesting thing. And maybe
so
someday you'll learn more about it.
I'm so curious about it.
That is so rude.
Oh yeah, that's all I am is rude.
Oh God, it's so infuriating. It's like one of like the most fun and most irritating parts of D&D is that I hate when things like are unknown to me. And obviously like it's the fun of like having them slowly kind of revealed and everything, but at the same time I'm like, just tell it all to me right now. Like I want to know.
I just want to know.
It's fine. It's fine.
I swear I won't
Um,
metagame.
Okay, so one of the things that the hunger, I'm just gonna call him the hunger or the hungry, whatever.
Sure, Hungry Man.
How we,
God
yeah.
damn it.
So Hungry Man said,
I thought
at the
that
beginning
name
of
was
the
so
fight-
good too.
it honestly no,
It's good.
It is.
it
It's
is
like
a
this
really
feels
good
like a
name.
biblical enemy.
It really
It is
does.
good.
I agree.
But I think like it's one of those things where we were just like feeling so hyped that we just had to like bring him down a peg.
Of
and
course.
it's like the separation of like you as the creator of it and like it as a character, kind of, right?
I
mean-
was just hoping that you weren't going to start calling him like the Hungry Hippo or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, we went a very different route. Hungry Man dinner. It's
Yeah,
super more mature.
I mean, Adam, you've been a DM. You knew this was coming
that's
too.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Actually,
players get hyper stressed, they just bully the
They
enemy.
just got a bully, yeah.
that is actually something I'm curious about as like a side note. Like as a DM, when the characters like or the players take the piss out of like a character or something, like does it feel like personal? Or are you able to kind of like separate it to be like, I know it's like in character, it's not like about me specifically.
When you first start, oh yeah. When you first start DMing and people take the piss out of something you put hours into,
Oh,
you're just like,
sure.
I want you all to die.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, as an experienced DM, you go, this is just the way we have fun. So you know what?
Yep.
I take no offense to it. It is funny, and I am going to kill you.
Yeah. Yep.
Great.
That's the evolution of that. When you realize it's all in good fun and you know it's a stress mediator. It's like, you know what? Fair enough. Hop in with the jokes.
I keep interrupting. Sorry.
Fine. Right. So the Hunger Man dinner said, Ferryman, Possessor, your time has come. The path is open. I intend to follow it to what I started so long ago. Don't really have anything else to say about that. I just thought it was really interesting. I just wanted to remind all of us that's what he said. And then the fight between three Abes begins. So Abe, you did start kind of like you did assist the ferryman. Did you have a moment where you fully considered like not getting involved at all?
Oh yeah. And then the ferryman was, then the hungry man was 15 feet tall. And I was like, I stand no chance if I don't help.
Yeah,
And you had no idea.
attacks.
Yeah, fuck. You had no idea that we were going to be able to come in either, right?
No, I had no idea.
That was super cool.
It was
Amazing. Yeah, the hungry ripped out the ferryman's soul shard and just threw his body to the side like it was nothing, which was terrifying. And then Draq and Nell were able to assist from the real world, and then spectral versions of us appeared in the Abe plane, which was the coolest fucking shit in the world. Like, again, it was one of those moments where I could see it so clearly, and I felt so like excited. Cool.
That was actually it was so exciting to watch that fight. Like, I just feel like watching everyone like outside of like the battle that was happening as well. Like, the other four of us were just sitting there as well. We were like, oh, like the whole group was so excited that whole time.
Yeah,
Such a cool fight.
Like, it would have been one of those things that was like, oh, it's fine to like just watch, but I was so stressed. And then the moment like I got to be part of it too, I was like, oh, I'm angry now because all this like my stress has gotten way too high. It was incredible. Yeah, so Elo and Gideon also were able to come in. Dallas, I want to speak a little bit about we saw a lot of Eloin's like new level up abilities in this fight. Did you want to talk a little bit about Eloin's build currently and what it was like to play? Because it seemed like you were having a good time.
I am having a good time. I've been so excited to get to 6th level for so long because I feel like this is like the moment this like whole subclass kicks off. And also I'm just like, that's like the whole thing. So Teni, this is a homebrewed subclass that Teni built, and it is super freaking cool. So yeah, at 6th level, I get Arcane Destinies, and there was a choice. There was like 9 or 10 of them that I could choose from, and I could pick 3. And so you've seen all 3 of them, and I was really thinking about like, how am I gonna like use, like I need to show people these things. When am I gonna get to do it? And you just like let me do it all immediately, which was very fun.
Thanks for saving my life, by the way.
I'm here for you. This is what I do now.
Right out of the gate.
This is what I'm here for. Yeah, so I think I made good choices with the 3 I picked because they came into play very quickly. But yeah, so it's like, so Eloin has cognizant dice. So I have 6 d8s. And up until this point, I've only really been able to use them for that sharing of intuition that I've done, and the telepathic link are the only 2 things that I've ever used the dice up to this point. But all of these arcane destinies now also use them. So my resources are starting to get a little strained all of a sudden. But yeah, it's very cool. So it's the whole subclass is kind of like based around the idea of like foresight and like seeing glimpses into the future, which is we've seen teased through the sharing of intuition up until this point. But I think at this level, it's like it really becomes like fully like much more materialized. Yeah, at level. And there's a couple more cool things coming up in the next couple levels. Level 14 is very cool also, but we're not going to get there for about 7 years. So
yeah. No, you
yeah,
guys
we
aren't
should
leveling.
be there really. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll never get there. You're not leveling ever again.
Yeah.
Put you to level 6
okay.
Rude.
after
Honestly,
like 2 episodes.
So rude.
I'm happy. I feel like I've got an unkillable character, so I'm excited for you to kill me.
Wow.
I almost did. What are you talking about?
You almost did, but then the powers you gave me kept me alive, so.
When you guys were discussing before the campaign, like this subclass, I guess, like, did you always want it to be like foresight related and like?
No, the original subclass I sent to Teni as inspiration was like a UA subclass called the Seeker, I think is actually what it was called.
Yes.
Which was funny when that became our name later. But it was nothing like this. I went back and re-looked at it, and I'm like, actually, Teni took nothing from that subclass, and I'm grateful for it, because this subclass is way more interesting than everything that was in the other one.
What Dallas had said to me was, I want to be a support character. So I was like, okay, and you've sent me this subclass. Knowing that, and you had also mentioned, I believe, like, you were like, I like the idea of, like, options like the Battle Master, and I was like, okay, we'll take that concept too. And I kind of blended all these ideas together into this Warlock subclass, which I am really proud of this thing too.
It's really cool. It's like the most customizable warlock now because I have my the warlock stuff, and you have the packs, and you have the invocations and the packs. Now the arcane destinies. I have so many choices all over the place.
Can you change your arcane destinies at any point?
Yeah, on level up, I can switch them.
That's sweet.
Yeah, but I think these three are good. There's one other one that I debated taking called Spirit, and it let me use an action to let you roll your hit dice. So you could like re-heal in the midst of battle, but it used a lot of my cognizant dice, which I think is best for me too. A lot of these ones only use one cognizant die. So we'll see, perhaps as things continue on, maybe we'll change stuff out, but I'm pretty happy with the 3 I took.
Sounds really cool. I would love to see like the write-up. Like even if you just gave it me up to like level 6, there's no, because I kind of like want to be spoiled. Like, or I want it to be surprised when it comes up, but it'd be cool to see it like written out, like how it works mechanically. But that's awesome. I'm excited that you're like loving it now. Like I feel like Elowen's really come into her own this past like week in game. Like,
Elowen's had a good couple of days and a bad couple of days, but fighting wise, good couple of days.
Yeah.
When we were starting this campaign too, like Dallas was like, I want to be like a custom warlock, like, support. And then Logan comes to me being like, hey, I want a custom class built to support. And I'm like, oh, we want 2 supports? How effective are we going to be as a combat team? And Logan's class, the Learned, is kind of in a similar vein, except for Logan gets specific tactics at 3rd level, and I think at this level up now he gets more tactics available to him, as well as an interesting kind of more passive ability, but Logan will probably talk about that once he returns. But yeah, I mean the Learned class is also very interesting as a support. I've envisioned this as kind of a 3-branch from level 1 build, and the one Logan took is like the more combat oriented one, but I've also envisioned like a more politician based one and a more like medic based one. At some point I'll get those fleshed out, but nobody was playing those, so I was like, I don't need to do that right now.
That's fair. If Nell dies, I would love to come back as a custom support class. If we could just figure that one out.
You could just make another one, please.
I'm gonna make a new ruling. If you die, you're out. Oh, it's too bad. Hashtag never Amdis. Oh no.
No.
So rude. I would actually.
I'm just kidding.
No, don't joke about my boy.
I would have the biggest meltdown if you kicked me out of this campaign.
Don't worry, you guys are safe.
Yeah. For now.
I have a question for Dallas about what's the deal with the new colors of your magic?
What is the deal with the new colors of my magic? I don't know. I'm concerned. Well, I guess I'm not concerned, but I'm confused. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, Teni, Wilela didn't talk to me about any of this new stuff. I think all of this was a surprise to Elowen when it came up, and I should have probably played that up more. Just a lot happened right after that battle, so I don't know. I'll be concerned about it later, but it's all very strange. It's all real weird. It's on my list of I gotta figure this out shit right now.
What were the new colors? They were like green.
Green.
Right?
Yeah, well, and the way I interpret that, because I've been doing this as well, is like the when I took the Fey Touched feat, I started, because you get 2 spells for that you don't use your spell slots for, and I've always flavored those to be greens and browns because I've always kind of thought that is like Elowen's like natural elven magic showing through for the first time in her life, whereas like all the other stuff is Wilela's magic, but that's actually her magic, and it's just like being nurtured. So I don't know if Denny's on the same page about that, but more green magic makes me feel like it's more Elowen's magic than Wilela's magic, but I don't know why that would be also.
Or, and hear me out. You've got
Ranger?
No.
Wilela is an illusion. And the real entity that is giving you power is not a sphinx. It's something else that uses Waylayla as a front. And now that you're delving into this partnership more, you're more connected with that real self. So the illusion is starting to fade a little bit. Anyways, that's me speaking as a DM who loves fucking with warlocks, but...
What if, because we were technically in a different plane, it was kind of just like our consciousness, you manifested your magic through your consciousness rather than through Waylayla?
The first time it happened was in the real world, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say that was a really cool moment from like from the DMing side of things, because you normally like let us like describe magic, and so you're like, oh, describe this new ability. Actually, you're wrong. Actually, no. Which was so funny.
Power move, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Well,
shit. Okay.
It's funny because I did intend. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but it's kind of a I wanted to catch Dallas off guard, of course, and be like, surprise.
You did.
And interpret this as you will.
Yeah, we're going to think about it a bit more.
On Ryan's theory, it doesn't seem like it could actually be too far off, because again, we're so convinced, right? The stranger and Waylayla, one and the same. We all know this.
Oh, I'm not convinced about that at all.
We all know this is fact. Me and Adam know. We're convinced of it. So obviously the stranger isn't originally from the woods, right? Because like supposedly, but they're there now. So if their magic is coming through, could be forest green. Just saying.
I hate that.
It's fair.
Truly, I couldn't hate anything more.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about myself for just a second. I really enjoyed I guess being able to do radiant damage during this fight, and the fact that it prevented him from healing felt so good. I'm really so happy. So I guess just thank you for letting me get to do that.
Paladins.
I was stoked. It's just really nice to feel powerful, I guess, as a character, especially for one that like my magic not being so good, being able to actually do something felt nice.
It's funny too, considering at so many points in this campaign you've been like, my stats are the worst, the most, even across the board, nothing's an 18, and then you if we actually recall a lot of Nell moments, you have a lot of freaking kick-ass strength moments.
Yeah.
Do I?
Yes.
The big crit.
I keep telling you, Nell is strong, and you're like, no, she's not strong.
I had one. I remember. I think I had one crit. That's all I remember as one paladin crit.
I mean, you had your first paladin smite during the railroad fight, which was huge, and we keep getting these. These aren't necessarily strength, but these are you have a strength. These leadership moments that I keep bringing these up too. Yeah, you aren't as weak as you think you are.
Well,
kind of
we'll see.
And then in combat, again, this was another one of those that kind of proved it. But Nell doesn't know what happened here. But now, you as a player, maybe this will be reassuring.
Yeah.
So sad.
That radiant damage literally won us that fight.
I definitely felt it after you had left, because I was like, what actually do we do now? I can't do any radiant damage. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but
I didn't have any radiant prepped. So
yeah, so I was like, as soon as you weren't there, I was like, oh no.
Well, that makes me feel really good. It's just, it's dope as fuck. That's all. It's just, I guess it's just the sensation of anytime you go to fight and whatever you have, the other thing has a weakness too. So when you hit it, it hits harder. Just I love that feeling. Yeah, that's enough about that. Yeah, so Abe, you stab the ferryman's dead body and make him dissolve into green dust, which I'm sure has no ramifications. Probably not.
That was so brutal. When did you decide you were gonna do that? Was that the second he was down, you were like, I'm gonna go stab that guy? Is that?
I was wondering. I'm like, oh, am I supposed to heal him? I don't really know.
It was when I saw the green orb.
Oh.
I thought that was gonna go back into his body and turn him into Super Saiyan ferryman, and that we were all, including Hungry Man, going to die horribly.
Whoa,
Fair.
that would have been cool. Was that a possibility, Denny, for the orb? Because I think you explained afterwards, just for us, kind of like what that orb would have been. Do you mind kind of telling everyone
Sure.
now?
So, and this totally made sense, like, considering now that I didn't realize when I was making this fight that Adam was specifically going, I'm not going to tap into Malden's abilities whatsoever. I thought maybe he'd be like, I'll give it one last hurrah, use his strengths against him just so I can make sure I get this body. But Adam was like, nope, I am doing this sans rage. And
I will
was like,
die for pride.
So what that green orb was kind of an interactable element that Adam could have chose to interact with, and it essentially would have transformed him into one of the 3 champions, like, you know, the Beast, the Endless Wanderer, or the Eternal Champion. Or did I get that right?
Eternal Challenger.
Damn it, the Eternal Challenger.
It doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it's all
It
done.
does.
It's all done.
No,
They're
it's
all-
not.
They're all
It's all
dead.
over.
None of it matters.
Stop.
Malden doesn't exist anymore.
The path is
Gone.
closed.
I refuse
We're
to
all
accept this.
worthy.
You're all worthy, and the path is closed. What are we gonna do?
I've put too much effort into figuring out the answer to all of this that it can't be done. I refuse.
That was actually one of my big hang up points with deciding about getting my soul shard fixed. Was like, Christy has put so much effort into this Malden lore that I feel really bad that I'm just being like, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not relevant.
That's really funny. Because it makes me feel like I'm bullying you in real life as well as my character.
Does it make you feel better if I tell you that I've been so confused about it the entire time that I'm kind of glad we don't have to think about it anymore?
I mean,
You
and
don't know
also,
that, Dallas.
and also, to be fair, Adam did still go ahead with it, so you clearly didn't bully him hard enough.
That's true.
That's true. I think Adam just doesn't really care that I spent like 2 hours on a train ride home to Belleville, like perfectly like making that document and like fixing all the layout and stuff. So it looked really nice. It's fine. Whatever.
Well, I didn't know that you spent 2 hours on a train ride to Belleville.
You needed to tell him
You
this
took
2
that
weeks
train
ago.
just to do that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Would you change your feet?
Would ya? It's fine. It was a fun project for me to do over Christmas. And now I'll just delete it because it doesn't matter.
No.
Well, you all already saw what I did over Christmas. I
Nell
made
could
Anders.
become the new chosen.
Dude,
Oh.
I've got way too much other stuff going on.
Yeah,
Like I'm already
Let's
I
add
have
another-
2 things fighting over me. Let's just throw Malden in there too. Why the fuck not?
yeah.
Oh, that'd be so
Um,
cool if like Fyra, Reynard, and Malden all started fighting.
The
Dude, that'd be
love
a
square.
blast. I'm
The
so
love
excited
triangle.
for that.
Alice, you really don't seem really supportive of my ideas.
Your ideas get yourself killed all the time.
I have not died yet. Thank you.
It's because I keep stopping you.
Keyword yet.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, yeah. So that's what those 3 sons were, or
Oh, thank you.
3 sons.
Yeah,
Those sons.
right on. I actually had a genuine question before. I forgot.
The other reason was I had 2 health, and I figured if I went near the giant scary robot man, I would just die very quickly. So
Decided to
spent
kill a
all
dead
my
man.
turns. Yeah.
That's honestly fair. And it
It
was
was
that moment I
tactics.
think that I had a question about, which was I guess technically I have 2 questions. You were getting like your ass kind of handed to you before we showed up. And then like after you stabbed the ferryman, like you seemed like you said something on your breath, I can't remember what it was, but you seemed like upset that like you had to rely like on the party to help with this fight. How was Abe feeling like in that moment, like watching his friends like fight this battle too?
It was more. I think I said that I'm sorry to my friends for having to carry this burden or face this burden, because I'd already seen Nell get slashed in half, and like Abe doesn't know what's going on. This could be the real world too.
But I died at that point.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Gideon got killed too, so it was just Draq, Elwyn, and Abe left. So it was just like, do I have to watch all my friends die before I die, or are we gonna kill this thing? Or
There was a little element of that, I will admit. He was like, not only I incorporated that into his tactics. He's like, I'm going to make you suffer, and then I'm going to kill you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Love that.
That's a good
Cool.
call. as a
Huge fan
villain,
of that.
though. Yeah. That's some good villain shit right there.
That is some top tier villain shit right there. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Literally only one session this guy has been in the campaign. He's just been talked about a little bit here and there. What a fucking what a show he put on for us.
Already a better bad guy than Mithril Butt.
Yo, Mithril Butt is a great villain, but he is not the type to be in your face.
It's a
He's like
different type.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
He's like Palpatine.
Yeah.
He's
He's
gonna
not
have his
quite
day
so,
in the
like-
sun.
Not so showboaty, I guess.
Emperor Mithril Butt.
Ah, yes, here we go. Another of my
We
villains.
can do it to everyone.
Look
No.
at my butt. Do it.
Do it. Gaze upon my
Um,
keister.
No, I love what you've done with Mithril Coat up to this point. He's a bastard. I love to hate him. Oh,
Did you?
Oh, I have a question for the party.
Yeah.
Where do y'all think that swampy ruin was?
could it
Oh.
be in the Tempest Expanse?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm.
Let me just pull up my map.
Pull up a map.
I don't
Yeah,
have
I guess
my-
that makes sense. I didn't even think about
Isn't
it.
there a ruin thing nearby?
I suppose I have the ability to also pull up a map.
Oh, thank you. That's way more
Ooh.
helpful.
Where do you want me?
Get down
Tempest
a bit.
Expanse.
Whoa.
Oh no, I guess I'm thinking of the Gates of Rubia. That's not a specific
Crazy.
ruin, but
Well, that red diamond constitutes a ruin.
does it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Oh,
as
okay.
per the
Ruins out
legend.
there in the ye old Tempest land.
Refer to
And
the
then I guess the only
legend.
thing is, like,
Ooh.
Oh, I've never looked at that legend, if I'm being really honest.
Wow. This is how you map.
That is how you know.
Oh, Daddy, I was gonna have you show, like, in the top corner. There's like that. In the top right corner, there's like that Badlands or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the other place I was thinking was the wetlands.
Yeah, the wetlands.
Mm.
Because there's the Lake of the Bog Beast, which is really curious to me, but we just haven't heard anything about that. So as of right now, all roads lead back to the Tempest Expanse for me, especially when my new character shows up there when Nell dies.
There are
all coming
campfire
together.
stories about the Bog Beast. They don't end well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
so-
people are from that area. Well, south
Oh.
of there, anyways.
So you're the Bog Beast.
Yes.
Ah.
Bog
Interesting.
Beast is the Drax you made along the way.
Classic. Right on.
Just remembered I have something. Sorry guys,
I just got a piece right there. It's fine.
I actually will be right back in like a minute. Excuse me.
Okay. This next question is about Gideon. Yeah, so I liked that like as like I guess it was just myself and Ryan that got knocked out before the whole thing ended. Like we woke up with like the 3 levels of exhaustion, which was really cool. Like I just like another mechanic to this fight that just made it feel so like interesting and kind of crunchy, which I loved. And then Abe got the final blow, right? On the hungry.
He did, which
Yeah.
I thought was
much to my own
amazing because
surprise.
Elwyn almost
So
killed
happy.
him. He had 2 hit points
Yeah.
left.
The,
Oh.
the,
Just
the
like
dice,
I did.
That hold
Tell
on.
a
Actually, that's
story.
not entirely true. I think it was 8, and then Abe did his first attack and dealt a certain amount, but it was cut in half to like 6. So then it was like 2 hit points. Yeah.
I was so happy with that. Like I love when it's like that perfect like story beat. Beautiful. Did it feel good?
Yeah. Yeah. Considering when I got hit the first time and I lost like a 5th of my health from 1 attack and he had 4, I was like, Abe's dead. Make your peace with it now.
We weren't gonna make it past his next turn.
No,
You
I
needed
don't
to
think
kill him
any
in
of
that
us
moment.
were. Yeah.
No.
I don't know how Draq was doing, or Phantom Draq, whatever we want to call it.
I had a plan for what would have happened next because like I could pump more electricity into him. Like I had plenty more shocky power left in me.
The breath attacks were great.
Yeah.
If I had
3d8
made it to my next
there.
turn, I think I could have done something. But his turn was before mine, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it through his turn.
I mean,
Yeah.
that resistance that you had was so clutch.
It was very clutch.
It was super
that was
clutch.
important. I was out of cognizant die, so I was just at the mercy of what happened there.
I still had a pearl of power too that I could have used to get a spell slot back. So
I didn't touch my spells.
No, of course not. You don't need them anymore.
Yeah, sounds like a
That's-
warlock.
No, now I'm afraid of them.
That's infuriating. Actually. Right on. So after the Hungry was killed, 3 figures appeared in the mist. Valen, which how the fuck was Valen there? I'm so confused. Like what that means. An 8-foot tall hunter. Did we hear what race he was? If he was given one, or
I don't know if I did mention it actually. My bad. Goliath.
oh, he was Goliath.
He was Goliath.
What does that mean? Because the other, the leader of one of the paths was a female Goliath, so I'm curious now. Their
Sanders.
child, perhaps, and then a pirate woman, which she sounded really cool. Let's bring her back. I want to know
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
about
if you
her.
wanted to bring Hot Pirate Lady back, I'd be okay.
Yeah,
with it.
would love to know more about this hot pirate.
Everybody's just making my. Oh, I mean, of course they're hot. They're always hot. Pfft, what am I
it's
thinking?
D&D.
Everybody.
Even
I
low
mean, if you-
charisma means you're hot.
Hold on. Where's my D10?
If you wanted to, yeah, you have to roll the d10 to find out. I do think, just based on the fact that she's a pirate woman, she should have advantage on that roll.
Triple advantage.
Well,
And
it was
then
a
add them
7 and a
together.
9, so
I'll take a
79
9.
out
Yeah.
of 10. All right.
Yeah.
79. Hell yeah. All right. Into it. Roll for Valen, but he only gets 1.
D4, you got it.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Hasn't he been described as like
He's like,
skeleton man?
yeah.
He's like gaunt
blue.
and like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I picture his like skin being all droopy. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
His
they
son though.
Not like his son.
don't relate, but that's
Lyco's gonna
fine.
try to kill us now. How does Elwyn gonna cope with that?
Elwyn isn't attracted to him.
I don't
That's
believe
a
that.
pure Dallas thing.
Is that why you were so angry when I was trying to chat him up on the way to the Dunan Mountains?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
stop talking to
exactly.
him.
He's my
God.
boyfriend.
He's mine.
Love that. Yeah, so these 3 people seemed very pissed, right? Like they were kind of glaring at Abe. Is that the vibe? And then Valen said that the path was now closed and that we had all been marked worthy, which probably not a big deal. But I'm really curious what this path is closed thing. 'Cause like I obviously don't know how it'll go, but like just the ramifications of what this all means going forward, I'm very curious about.
Yeah, I
But,
think we've pissed off an entire religion of people.
We did.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Very
because, like-
strong.
We are worthy hunt now. They're
Oh,
gonna
and
come
that-
for us.
That voice from Abe's dream/vision from the night before that was calling out for the ferryman, like you heard like an anguished like cry from them too, right? Like,
Yep.
so yeah, it's not great.
Not gonna lie, there was
Very-
a bit of sadness in that moment. Even though it was like liberation of Abe, it was like, wow, there's a lot of sad people now.
Yeah, I mean, that
Yeah.
was one of the things. That was, I
Mhm.
mentioned it to Draq. Like, the Chosen means a lot to anyone who follows Malden, and Abe is essentially killing the Chosen. So, anyone who dies from now until there's a new Chosen isn't going to paradise unless Malden cooks something up real quick.
But can there even be a new chosen? Is my question. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting.
Like, I legitimately don't know the answer. I'm not being a jerk about it.
No, I think it's good that you don't know. Like, I think that's something that should be a surprise. Like,
I feel like it's gonna be those leaders are gonna start like making their way out into the world with their people, and they're gonna try to find the Chosen's body and do some like necromancy shit to bring him back. I don't know.
we have to get to Arthur Pendrack before these people do.
I feel like he's not going to know anything if he's even alive.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
That was written like 25 years ago. He might be dead, but there was no confirmation on that.
We don't know. He is from Probar, so it's on my to-do list to seek him out once we get there, and we'll just see where that leads. I'm still gonna do it, even if it doesn't matter anymore.
Memo to the rest of you: if you have things on your to-do lists, please tell me.
Oh, I have a lot of things. I guess I'll send that to you.
Cool.
But we're not going to Probar right away. I would have mentioned it before we actually hit up Probar, but anywho. All right, so Abe returns to the material plane, and it appears the ritual was successful. The soul shard and your eyes turned blue, which is super cool. And then the mark of Malden fades to essentially a scar on his chest. So, Adam, how are you feeling about the ritual succeeding? And did you expect this to be the outcome?
Feel pretty good. Pretty 10 out of 10 experience. Wouldn't do again, but not because it wasn't great.
Great.
Like I said, when I got hit the first time and it did so much damage, I was like, this is it. This is the end. I heard Adele singing in the background. Like 7. Well, maybe not 7, 2. But oh yeah, that went really well. I didn't expect you guys to be there, and it was really cool that we essentially killed, this great evil with the power of friendship. So that felt really nice. It is one of those things now where I'm like, what does Abe do? Like, what
you live your true life.
You're gonna have to flesh out your boy.
That's a good question. I think it'll be kind of interesting though. Like obviously we have this journey that like our main overarching thing as a group that we're trying to do, but I'd be curious to see if like Abe's thing now is just kind of like trying new things and seeing kind of like what feels like truly him.
Yeah,
I would love that.
He becomes a professional bowler.
Hell yeah!
Aww.
Sign me the fuck up for the Abe bowler arc, please.
I mean, if you're looking for some direction, I could pose to you some questions, such as, why did they refer to you as the possessor? And
that
also,
is true.
Where, every Argon folk starborn was all a previous soul that had died and has since been given a second life. Who might you have been?
Whoa, fuck.
If you weren't apparently the true ferryman.
Yeah, when they called me the possessor, and when the ferryman was talking about I can't remember what they said, but insinuating that Abe was somehow had taken control of the body, like it wasn't meant for him. I was a bit like, well, you clearly know something I don't. Maybe we should have a nice civil conversation first.
Maybe let's just chat this out.
And then Big Red Scary Man came up, and much blood was spilled.
Why I don't think it's over, and I don't think my research and all my documents are in vain, because it's such an interesting concept. Because okay, if Abe is his own person who existed before and somehow ended up in this situation with all these other souls and all of this Malden stuff, how did that happen? Was this specific soul shard kind of corrupted somehow to have that happen? It's really interesting to me. So there's still more here to figure out, and I'm content with that. So we can still be friends, Adam, is what I'm saying.
Oh, how nice.
I'm glad.
Yeah. And now Abe is a fighter, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you had prepped that before, right?
We talked about it.
Okay.
I hadn't made the character sheet yet, but it is on our campaign D&D Beyond if anybody wants to look at Abe Bar 2.
Fighter game.
I'm gonna creep. I like seeing it in the scroll because I actually had so I had actually creeped your page before because I needed to know what your strength modifier was, because I was picking a specific spell and I was curious if I had any hope and hell of like being able to train you in the temple if things like went a certain way.
Yeah.
And I remember like looking at your hit points, which were like 70 or something. I'm like, fuck, you're so like, you have so many hit points. And then when like you became a fighter and the thing popped up and you had 62, I was like, whoa, it really dropped. Like, so crazy.
What I love in this, in Adam's stat changes too, is like the barbarian side was very much more focused on like the health. But now that Adam's been freed of Malden's influence, he's actually stronger.
I noticed that too. I was looking at your
Really?
stats. I was like, God damn, those stats are good.
He's got a 20 strength now.
How? What the fuck, man?
The fighters get 2 ability scores by level 6, 4 and 6. And then we said that we were going to take 2 points from Constitution. This is Teni telling me.
Yeah.
We were going to take 2 points from Abe's Constitution, and they had to go into mental attributes. But luckily,
Oh.
Abe had an 11 intelligence and a 15 wisdom. Or, sorry, 13
intelligence.
Yeah, because I have a +2. So then I just took those and put 1 in int and 1 in wisdom. And then left my Constitution at 16.
Your stats are even like
His
better
stats are
than they
really
were.
good.
They sound so fucking. I'm so jealous. Also, I wanted to speak about your subclass that you chose, which is it was samurai, right?
Yep.
But like flavored a bit differently. I was looking it up.
Mechanically samurai.
I was looking it up afterwards, and the level 7 ability is that you become like really good at charisma based stuff. And I was like, okay, what the hell is
Only
Abe coming for my
persuasion.
spot? Are you coming for my spot? Persuasion's the only one I'm good at too.
Well,
I'm also
God.
okay at persuasion.
Look, guys, charisma's all I have. Please
it's a different
don't take this
approach
from
to
me.
persuasion. It's like an intellectual persuasion rather than the just raw charisma that Nell puts forward.
So Nell's
Mine's like the, hey, buy my shit.
stupid.
Because we know Nell's not an intellectual. Yeah.
Look, I didn't mean to say that. Okay, it just came out.
Those were not the words that he spoke.
No, they definitely were.
All right, those were the words that he spoke.
I'm just a dummy.
Well, I guess I'm not playing Nell well enough because I really was trying to aim for the like the concept that like she is like the nerd of her family who doesn't want to fight, but I guess I'm just dumb.
No,
I get it.
Oh,
the world has different
Oh, I'm so
different
sorry.
choices for you.
You know what?
Um,
This, like, once we get back to Varmhall Village, where Nell is from, I just gotta, like, roleplay all of your family members as, like, Hicks, just because, like, the party is so highly intelligent in comparison.
I don't imagine them as Hicks.
No, of
I
course,
just think
I'm
it's
joking.
like, okay, sorry, I took like extreme umbrage there for a second because I'm like, they're not, they just had a different focus. So I think that's all.
I'm just
don't
saying,
think
if
of it
you're the smart one, they've got to be less than that, right?
I'm not.
to be fair,
It's not
the smart players in the party are hundreds of years old. Like, you can't really
Yeah.
compare.
That's facts.
I think it's like smart in different ways. I just had more of like an
Of
interest in
course.
like history, kind of in like book learning, and everyone else has more of like, you know,
The survivalist.
diplomacy and survival. It was like they had their different areas that they kind of exceeded at.
I know. Yeah.
Sorry, I could get in a fight again about my fictional family at any point.
I will
I'm very
defend them to the
volatile.
death.
I have a question. Adam, did you
Yes.
consider going into any other class, or was fighter the only choice?
I considered staying barbarian, but I mentioned this, I think after the show, but I didn't want Abe to have any magic, because you know everybody else in the party is so magical. I want Abe to just be, except for Rhea. Well, they're sort of magical now. Anyway, I didn't want Abe to be magical. So the only like non-magic barbarian subclass I think is Berserker. But I was like, oh, Abe's not really angry even when he's raging. So I didn't really want to do that. I thought about Ranger as well because it kind of kept that like natural feel that Abe had. But again, not having magic, although you could flavor the magic as being something else. And then, you know, like I could have been a wizard, but then who's going to stand in the front and get hit all the time?
Yeah.
I think it would have been a really.
Don't come for my role. I'm the most wizardy warlock there is.
He came for my role anyways, which is fine because Nell's stupid, so it doesn't matter.
Oh no.
No, but I don't think it would have made
Sorry,
any...
Christy.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll talk about this off mic. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I don't think it would have made any sense for like Abe to come back and all of a sudden he like has magic because like where would that have come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Really confusing. So I think it's a good choice. I'm gonna be curious to see like how it works mechanically, like our next fight, which is probably going to be within 5 minutes of the first episode. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so we all kind of were dealing with like exhaustion and all of that fun stuff. A few of us went to the amphitheater to watch a shadow puppet play, the story of which I was so absorbed in I took no notes about. But basically it was like there was a giant and a dwarven ruler and they fought. Is that the main?
So
I took pretty detailed notes on this.
The Spark Notes version was the Brolbarian dwarves and the Onasha dynasty were at war. There was a third party that was kind of decimating their armies and nobody knew what it was. So both armies went to investigate, found this giant was just screwing everybody up that it found. So the Onasha general challenged it to a one-on-one combat, got destroyed. The dwarf queen challenged him, and the two of them died in the fight, allowing the Brolbarian dwarves to win the war. And the Onasha dynasty has since fallen into like several different like warlord states. So it's not a unified empire anymore. So that was the basic gist of that story.
They're coming in the DLC pack for the Dicely campaign.
Western Sicromund cool. DLC.
Yeah.
Only
That's the
accessible
next
at level
campaign.
15.
Love that. After the fact, like I think Adam, you had like a theory. You were like, "Oh, was the dwarven ruler the eternal challenger and the giant like the chosen?"
Yeah.
Which is interesting if like that original body had been a giant. But I guess it doesn't matter anymore, so we'll never find out.
Oh no.
But I mean,
feel so bad.
No, but I think
It's a good after party for you, Adam.
No.
Apparently, me and Adam actually just gonna have a fight after this. I don't know why. Not what I was expecting for today, but that's all right. But I think like this, if anything, if that is like a correct theory and not just like us, like I don't know, making things up. Like I think it shows that like obviously it's not finished yet. All of this, because we still have more to learn.
Yeah, not even close. We got a whole religion after us. We're in trouble.
Oh yeah, and we're all worthy, which again I don't think will come up, so we probably don't need to worry about that.
Probably not important. I don't even know why you mentioned it.
Yeah, pretty sure Valen's gonna roll out with the boys and come fight us. All right, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen.
Like full party question, like is anyone actually like super concerned about this worthy business?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're fucked.
Like
We're sure they're
capital
coming to kill
C
us.
concerned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nell is not worried at all.
We have like a 2-day head start.
Valen is so super strong. We
Valen's
know this.
Fucking
Yeah.
terrifying. We
Yeah,
saw
we've
him
seen
just
him fight.
stand still in T-pose, and while he was T-posing, he fucking killed things.
Here's the thing I will say, like, one, obviously it's part of a joke, but I think it's actually true that like I truly think like Nell is like, I mean, it's probably concerning a little bit, like she's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm angry, I'm just gonna like, it's gonna be fine. But also like, because we're not followers and who even knows like what this religion is anymore, like we're not beholden to the same rules that everyone else is. So like, I don't need to have a fight with you, like, and like respect your honor and all that bullshit. If that's what the Valen's up to, like one-on-one, I'll be like, fuck you. It's 6 against 1. So oh well. Cause like we were trying to stay out of it before. And I'm like, I don't have to stay out of it now. So get ready. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Nice. Disrespecting
I don't
beliefs.
I don't think Valen's gonna
Hell
play
yeah.
by his rules either if we don't.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I'm not sure 6 is a no.
Teni, that made me feel really bad. That doesn't hold true in the real world, specifically about this fictional belief. That is all. Okay.
Yeah, this belief where the god decides, I want that person in my collection. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's on the table.
Okay, thank you.
I'll
And
also
why should
last
I-
catch him.
Love
Why should I
that.
respect a religion that was invented by a giant bird? All right.
Fuck off. Leave him alone.
Speaking of which, my theory that's I've had for like a little while, but like Melton being a hawk, actually I've changed. Melton is that rock that we saw like way back or that I saw way back at the beginning. That's how you pronounce it, right? The big bird? The
Rock?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a boulder.
Yeah,
I also thought you meant that.
It's very much
ROC.
like,
It's like,
what
what?
rock? Was there a symbol with?
I immediately knew what you were talking about. So
Thank you. Yeah, I realized that right as I said it. I was like, no one else has been in my mind thinking about this, so it would seem like I was just talking about like a literal stone.
I got you.
But
I got you.
great. But yeah, that's my theory. Anyways.
It's about drive. It's about.
Can we roll back for a sec?
Yeah.
Because right after the fight with the hungry man, and we all came back, Teni pointed out that Elwyn was being very quiet to Draq, and I did notice that you weren't saying anything before Teni mentioned it, but
I
I
did
was
too.
like, I don't know, maybe
wanna
she's
poke
just
it.
not feeling it. But yeah,
Oh yeah, no, Dallas is angry.
no, I mean, of course, I knew Dallas was role playing as Alwyn, and I knew people would have taken notice, but I was like, there's a scene to be explored here. I'm gonna proc this to see what happens, because I'm also curious.
yeah. How is Elwyn feeling?
Not great. Not super good. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, no, this is I knew this was gonna happen ever since. This isn't what I thought was gonna happen, but I knew that this was probably gonna be a problem. What I thought was gonna happen was, and I didn't think it was gonna happen for forever, but I thought we were eventually gonna find Abe's real body and get Abe back into that thing. And I was like, well, that's gonna suck. That's really not gonna be fun when that happens. But this was just as bad.
Did you think that would have happened before Elwyn's?
I wasn't sure. I
Body
wasn't sure.
change?
I actually, yeah, and like I said, I went into this session with such low expectations that we were actually gonna do this thing with with Abe, that I was just like not actually emotionally prepared to do this at all today, because in my mind this wasn't gonna happen for forever, and I was like, maybe Elwyn will have her body back before this ever happens. It's gonna be fine. And then all of a sudden, it was like when you were like, his eyes are blue. I was like, uh-oh, that's not great. Wait a minute, I'm sad.
You had a look at the flaw section of your character sheet. moment.
Or just you know, living in the reality of the character is just like,
Yeah.
oh no, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you know, again, like Adam, I'm very happy for you, but it's also just kind of unfortunate because I really thought there was not that we've ever really explored it, but I thought there was like the potential for so much camaraderie between Elwyn and Abe as well. I've had a conversation prep to have with you for so long about this, and it just like hasn't happened. And I think that was part of it as well, as I was like, I actually have always, I felt that Elwyn and Abe have this like little bond where they're both kind of freaks who are not really themselves, and like they can have this with together, they can like, you know, deal with this thing. And then you're like, oh, I solved it, don't worry. And I'm like, well, okay.
Again,
That
like
conversation
Adam
could
is
still
just
happen.
leaving so many people in his wake of destruction here. It's
Well, I mean,
wow.
I bring it up again. Alwyn is a tragic story, and
Honestly, it keeps getting sadder. I
No.
think it's sadder than I meant it to be.
well, it's great too, because like you're pointing out here, like happy endings for other people mean sadness for Alwyn.
Yeah. It's it's an unfortunate character flaw in her, that other people's happiness makes her sad.
That was actually like my next question was like, from there we like, both like Draq and myself kind of went like into like full like let's cheer Elwyn up mode. Did that make you feel worse as Elwyn, or like were you like a little comforted at least?
I guess I was a little comforted. I think but I don't know. I was very confused. It's not what I thought was gonna happen. I was truly like, I'm gonna just take myself out of like basically the second half of this session. I was like, Elwyn's not here for this. I'm just gonna go sit in the inn, and you guys are gonna go climb the clock tower, go to the amphitheater, and have fun lunch. That's fine. You guys go do that. And then you were like, let's take care of Elwyn. And I was like, what? No, this is Abe's big day. Go be happy with Abe. But it was very sweet. I appreciate it, and I think Elwyn really appreciated it as well. But I I didn't think that's where we were going.
Adam, did you feel like Dallas really stepped on your toes?
I was trying
with all of
so
this?
hard. I really, that's why I didn't say anything for so long, because I was like, I really want you to like have like this thing. I want you to be happy. I want you to have this moment. And I was just like, I'm just gonna slink. As soon as we leave, I was like, Element's just gonna go back to the inn. Like I was gonna just like cut away. I didn't want to take anything from you.
No, I don't feel like you did. Like,
Oh my God.
I don't know, I felt like Abe has had so much in the 22 episodes of this campaign. Like I've messaged Teni a few times being like, am I doing too much? Like, is Abe too overpowering of a character? And I have often felt that way. So no, you did not take anything from Abe. I didn't even
I'm also going to put out there that I have never said, yes, Abe is too overpowering, and that's not why Adam has done this.
But he says yes every time, and I'm like, why? I don't care what you say. You're the DM. I'm the player. It's about me.
I don't even know why I asked you this question.
I just wanted to hear it.
Why are we talking?
I think that's really interesting. And I think like just like a peek behind the screen, I suppose, of like us just as like a group telling this story together. Like one of our like, I don't know if this is so much like a safety mechanic, but I guess like one of like the check-ins that we did was to be like how are we feeling about sometimes the spotlight really like kind of like heavily shines on one person, because like I felt that same way when we had everything going on, like when Finn was there, because I'm like, obviously like there's a lot of conversations I need to have, but I feel bad because like it's a lot of me talking. But I think that's just the nature of how like D&D stories go. Like each person's going to be featured, and so yeah, I don't think anyone needs to feel bad about it. I think it's just like
we each have our time. It's just some stories are more epic or more grand in the scheme of things, so it's like they might not become more relevant until like later down the path when you guys are in like epic territory and things really begin rolling for certain characters who, you know, have cosmic friggin' consequences for their stories, you know? And
like Layla eating the Arquette.
No.
But and then of course
Christ.
for even those characters like Azaria, whose story seems like grand cosmically, and Eloin's who seems grand cosmically, I like want to make sure I still try and remember to like sprinkle in these ways to get you guys still your elements, you know, like the elf at the Dune End Mountains. Like, who would have thought there'd be some story connection for you there? Like, and it's great to be able to like make things appear where you least expect them.
I love that.
Y'all best wait for the Balesville arc. That's gonna shake some shit up for sure.
And
it's like the best part I think about like doing this like sort of like interactive story is like I love that we just get to like make up like a little bit that we know and hand the rest over to you, and that you get to surprise us with the story beats. Oh, it's so fucking rewarding and fun. I just want to say I did think you were going to say some people's stories are just more epic, and so they get to just have like more focus on them, and everyone else sorry that your story's boring, but
I think those stories are freaking epic, so I'm gonna be like, let's talk about that.
Then he actually sent us all a really mean message that was like, hey, can everyone just maybe like try and get on the level of Adam, because he's doing so much better than all of you.
What the hell,
it's
guys?
like,
Be more epic.
You're bringing down the stream.
Yeah, I've since written in an entire cosmic horror saga that is waiting to happen.
Great.
Yeah. Cool beans. I don't think we really need to talk about this, but Abe has new armor now, which very exciting. Draq went. I didn't mean that like that. Sorry. Like I meant like, oh yeah, it's cool.
It's so cool though that it's like, integrated into your body.
It is fucking neat.
That actually, if I'm being honest, stresses me out. I don't know why. Like I understand. I guess like Abe's a metal man, but to have like new like metal put in, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it creeped me out really bad.
Body modification.
I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's because I need to see the art because I just can't picture it, I think is the issue.
Yeah.
So
I mean this is part of this setting too that hasn't really come up all that much. I did mention it back in Starcross that Argon folk smiths are kind of experienced in different things beyond like, you know, weapon and armor making, because they also, you know, make prosthetics, and now you guys learn that they make armor integration for Argon folk. Like there is body modification that does happen.
Yeah, because I feel like what I remember you mentioning wasn't anything that like felt like a fix. Like there was someone who was wearing like a straw wig or something. I
Oh yeah,
thought.
that's some Argan folk just
And-
feel like, replicating organic appearance. So
Yeah.
they'll like make hair or they'll, beards, things like that.
It's called fashion.
Yeah.
What if Abe got a toupee?
No.
I can't picture your new armor, but I could picture that so perfectly.
Draq can weave one for you.
None of that.
Ooh, it's a really funny image that I like a lot. So I'm just gonna keep that in my mind.
Just pick a
forever.
color. I got you.
Think.
Then it's probably not too much work for you, but when you're making the new art, can you make one funny one for me where it's Abe with a toupee?
It'll be the same
take it
quality as
as my I was gonna
Elwyn
say
and a Baby Bjorn. Yeah.
I'm just gonna collect them. When I have my art binder, I'm gonna request that I can put them in there because I just really need that in my life.
All right,
Um,
hold on. I'm gonna spend the rest of this stream just doing this. Give me a hairstyle. We talking afro?
n-
Afro Abe?
no, I'm thinking like it looks kind of like a flop in my mind at least. Actually, I guess Adam could answer this, but for me it was kind of a floppy, like almost a bowl cut style.
There's no part of Adam that's involved in any of this.
A little like Bieber swoosh.
Oh God, no! I think I was thinking like kind of like a Beatles flop
All right,
almost.
I get it. We're not unified on this yet. I'll have to do this off stream. Got it.
You think about hair and whatever, like a mullet.
Hey,
I'm
I
not
like
giving
that.
Abe a mullet, even for this joke.
Aw.
I'm not doing
Wow.
it.
I
All
appreciate
right.
that, Teni.
I respect that.
But I'm gonna give Nell a mullet just to fucking spite you.
Good. Yeah, I think she looked great in a mullet.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Do you have any
Anyway.
questions?
I have several more actually. Okay, Draq went out and picked up some trinkets for everyone, and like you kind of made a note of like enjoying the festivities and stuff. Like a lot has happened in 24 hours. How is Draq feeling about like everything that just happened with his brother? Like because I think you're trying to like play it up really hard about like considering like A to be a brother as well. It's like having that dichotomy. Like how did that feel?
It's tough, right? Because like he's just had a very traumatic experience, but his whole life he's been taught to like keep things balanced. So the way he went about it this time was trying to just enjoy himself in the city, look for people who are happy when he's not feeling happy, and try to make his friends happy by giving them gifts. I think his love language is probably gift giving, so he's probably just trying to like emphasize that as much as he can. But yeah, he's feeling pretty good, all things considered. I think he was also kind of feeling the claustrophobia of Valenbridge at this point and wanting to get back out on the road too, so it's also another thing to keep his mind off of Bahz for now. So he's hopeful and happy that his brother from another metal mother is feeling like himself.
Awesome. And that kind of like it goes in well. Like from there we had kind of like a pretty intense like conversation as a party about essentially like the moral ramifications of like the choices that were made in that dragon fight. Like obviously Elwyn provided us her very conveniently timed backstory about her human father,
I've
which
been planning it for sessions.
we already knew that. So I don't know why you felt the need to mention specifically that he was human.
Right.
But yeah, just like kind of like the different perspectives of which we were all coming from that issue. One of which, Anthony, like you were telling me afterwards that it wasn't until like that moment that you would really like kind of put together like how Draq's story like works in this world and like what it means to the other characters. If you wanted to speak on that a little more.
Yeah, like obviously I probably thought of this way back when and don't remember, or it was just like subconscious, but the fact that Draq's very existence is contradictory to the rest of the world, and that like he worships dragons and dragons like decimated Eastern Sicromund and has just like made life terrible for Elwyn and her family and Rhea and so many others, is just like, it's just such a point of butting heads that probably won't ever be solved. And it just, it's interesting.
You know what? To that point, Anthony, something for you to consider. Maybe Draq should have this conversation with Azaria as well. Get their perspective on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. No, it was interesting because I also like kind of came to that same realization where I was like, I don't think Draq knows what happened really outside of this. And it was like, just because we'd been talking about my father and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's probably a relevant conversation. All of a sudden, maybe I should tell him about this. These small children I hang out with don't know what happened 300 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, I guess, like, everyone has to kind of pick or, like, decide, like, how it's impacted them. Because, like, I'm thinking, like, from Nell's perspective, I think a lot of her family was, I don't know, I don't really think I've, like thought about it too much of, like, how involved they were in the desolation and, like, the battle and everything that happened. But I very much made, like, the character decision of, like, I personally like dragons, and it was really hard to just be like, kill it. I just can't let myself do that in a campaign, even if maybe it's like relevant as like a character. So I'm trying to justify it now, and I'm thinking like maybe like I have to decide my morality is just like on a moment to moment basis, like not judging like one from like I guess like the sins of all of like the same like race kind of. But I know that's an unpopular theory, so I'm still trying to like figure that out. But
yeah, I mean, I think like Dallas has like the moral quandary with it as well. I think Evelyn feels pretty strongly that dragons aren't great. I will pose this to Nell though. You are also a half-elf, and if you had been alive 300 years ago, your family also would have been split up by this event, just as Elowen's was.
True.
If you just imagine that you're a little bit older, we have the exact same problem.
yeah, I need to actually, I think, have a separate conversation with Teni so he can remind me of like my own history and like how it all works out, because I really have not made any firm decisions about that, and it's becoming more relevant, and I feel like I need some more authority on my specific interaction with it. So
Yes, and I believe I can actually supply you with some answers.
Fantastic. We'll have a separate convo because I need to like take detailed notes, because every time it comes up, I'm like, fuck, I should have made a decision about this, and I haven't. So yeah.
If the dragons come back and burn down the world again, you might also be faced with the same problem.
I don't think that'll come up, so I'm not going to worry about that so much.
Well, you know, Gideon's a human, so. Rip.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going back to the Wilder.
Yeah. And there is a very interesting thing too, because this is again like bringing up like the whole like I guess the pressure of leadership that Nell is feeling right now. Because again, like it feels like it's naturally going there, and I like it like outside of character, like as a story arc, but in the character it feels so uncomfy because it's like not what Nell wants. And then it's like, you know, if I've made a decision in battle, like that fight, and everyone followed it, like what does that mean? So I think we're gonna have a lot more interesting conversations as a party about like I wanted to try and do it actually like during this conversation, but it kept like switching avenues too much. So we'll have it like in character as well, but kind of like
Responsibility,
but also like deciding like in the moment, are we committing to make like our first like level of trust each other, and then like figuring it out afterwards, because like just to be like a cohesive unit in fighting, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we did in that dragon fight.
Yeah, and so I think I wanted to just like double down, being like, is this like how we're going to continue to do things? Because it's a lot of pressure to be like, if it becomes like Nell every time to like make like a certain choice that's perhaps not going to be popular, like it's terrifying. So
Well, Draq did say that he will defend the party even if it is a dragon hunting or chasing them down. And he probably won't strike the killing blow, like I said, but he will defend the party, do what he has to.
good to know. Yeah, there's a lot like we're also like morally interesting characters. That I think there's a lot more situations like this that are going to come up for us, because it's like it was like an echo of the freaking Argon Voludium quandary.
We didn't argue
which-
about it this time, though, not as much.
Well,
Getting better.
We did after the fact. It wasn't in the
Sure,
moment.
but we got through it.
Well,
That's
I mean,
better.
though.
you
That's a lot
guys
better.
had
Yeah.
to make a decision, otherwise a dragon was going to kill somebody, so it made
Oh,
sense
yeah,
that
okay,
some people
so-
kind of were like, all right, we'll do this and then deal with the consequences.
And it was a different situation too, because not everyone had the full information. Like the three of you were kind of just going off like what I was doing. So terrible. Like so scary.
Maybe we
Cool.
made friends. Maybe those dragons are going to come back later and be like, those are the guys who spared us, you know?
Hey,
That is
what I'm
Ellen's
gonna be
saying.
like-
Wishful thinking.
And Gideon's gonna
And
be
then
like,
Ellen's going to shoot them anyways.
That
I
is
didn't shoot
exactly
Noah.
what I'm thinking. And I might get punished by this, like I have been by so many DMs when I try to befriend an animal and it's not the vibe. Logan. It's my very first game. I
This is the
understand.
first time we ever played D&D. The
I
only thing you
understand-
tried to do is befriend wolves.
Look, I get it's not a popular choice, but I can't like go against myself. You know what I mean? Anyway. The next day after our really intense conversation, Nell and Elowen went to speak with Janet. And I will say I felt really like kind of unsure about even running that scene at all, because it felt like I didn't like prepare Denny for it, because I hadn't really been thinking about it until we were in the moment of like, oh, we're leaving. But I just couldn't like let it go that we're going to throw a bar, Draq is going to continue coming up, and no one's going to believe us. And so I'm like, at least if there's a paper trail of our concerns, they have that to look back at. I don't know. Did
I
it feel
think-
okay to everyone else? I felt really
No.
stressed afterwards.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, I think it really made sense to do, at least. I think, people are pointing out that this is perhaps not really Draq Mithril, which is fine also, but I think it's good that we are saying this, or there's someone impostering him out there, right? I think it's good that we get that information to people.
Mhm. Also, I think it was nice for me too, because we got to flesh out an important NPC a little bit more. Now Janet likes reading books apparently.
It was so I actually love that detail, because she's formed fully in my mind now as one of the characters from Dragon Age Inquisition, who is like the very like straight-laced. She's one of the party members, very straight-laced, like fighter, and then like one of her things is she loves reading like smutty literature, and she's like, no, like pretend you don't know this about me and stuff. And I was like, I instantly get Janet's whole deal, and I fucking love it.
I mean, another
That's
another
sweet.
way to make an interesting character. You have their personality. Give them something they love that is completely contradictory to the rest of their personality.
It's fantastic.
Like slaughtering
Um,
innocents.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, that's actually where my mind went first too, which is so
Right
weird.
today.
Yeah.
Call now.
Yeah, so we have Janet's name in the book now, which is good. We have a contact in Ballenbridge for when everything hits the fan, which is likely to be soon.
We took
Um,
Abe's name out of the book, but that doesn't matter. That's small
Like, we're
detail.
traveling with you.
No, it's fine. It's cool.
Wait, what did you want me to do there?
No,
Bud?
no, it's
What do you
it's
want? No,
okay.
you tell
You-
me. What was I
you
supposed
should-
to do there?
Adam's right, actually. Adam's right. We should have erased Finn's name, because again, my story is pretty boring and unimportant. So just get rid of that.
No,
We
Abe's
don't
your main
need to know.
character. You're right.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's all about Abe.
Yep.
This is a fun game. I really enjoy it.
I'm not.
Yeah, don't have anything else to say. Azaria caught up with us at the end, and it looks like Logan, I guess, is gonna join us again, unfortunately.
That guy.
Yeah. So yeah, it should be interesting. I guess I was imagining it that we were going to get through things a bit faster, which again I should not assume, because
As
we
we
don't.
always.
Yeah, I thought that Azaria was gonna like leave and go to this meeting without us, kind of thing, and we were gonna have to like meet up with them there. But I'm glad that's not the case. It feels better that they're gonna be there with us when we go to Ganry, because it's scary otherwise.
I mean,
I
yeah,
think they know the most about all this stuff as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
to have with us.
I was also like kind of a bit like concerned about like how to proceed as well. It's like, are you guys just gonna go to Ganry and then wait for Azaria? Because this is like druid stuff, which Azaria is kind of tied to. But
kind of their thing.
It's all working out, it seems.
Yes, thankfully. That is all of my main questions and conversation I had. I think we have time for one fun question in the fun question corner. Dallas and I were workshopping this one, so I think I'm going to go with mine, though, Dallas, if that's okay. I just think the choices are a bit more applicable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it too much to ask for both?
I guess we could do both. I'll do Dallas's first in that case. So fuck, marry, kill.
Wow.
Janet, Astrid, or Patience. But if Patience feels uncomfy, we'll say Sarze.
Oh, Sarze is a good answer.
Okay,
Switch
so
out Patience for
so
Sarze for sure.
We'll do Sarze, Janet, Astrid. And obviously Dallas has been thinking about this already, so Dallas, you can start.
Oh no, I actually haven't been. I've spent too long trying to figure out who the NPCs are. I haven't actually thought about the question. Wait, what are the options? Janet, Patience, Sarze.
No, Janet, Sarze, and Reeve, Astrid. Yeah.
Astrid, Sarze.
Or no, wait, Janet, Sarze, Yulumfa.
No, Yulumpa's really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Why?
don't
I
throw
kill or
Yulumfa in
fuck
there.
her.
I would marry her, obviously.
I mean, everyone
so
would
sweet.
marry Yulumfa.
Everyone would marry Yulumfa.
Are we doing
Okay,
this as our characters or
No,
as us?
because my character
people?
looks like she's 9. No,
Yeah,
us as
we'll do this
humans.
as ourselves. Yeah,
Choose, perhaps.
or choose.
Sure.
I think honestly, mine and Nell's sensibilities are the same. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, well, we have to marry Yulumfa.
I think we're removing Olympha. We all agreed we'd marry her, so it's back to Sarze, Janet, and Astrid.
Yeah, there's a marry, fuck, kill, and then on the side, marry Yulumfa as well. Got it.
Everyone's marrying Yulumfa.
Also, for sure marry Olympha, but
Divorce whoever, then marry Yulumfa.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's a shame. I think I have to kill Sarze. She's evil. She's hot. Fuck Astrid. She's also hot.
Yeah.
And then marry Janet, because she seems fairly sensible. And I I think we could read a book together. Read our smart together.
You would be working such long hours, though.
That's true. It's kind of okay too, though. I like my space.
Fair. All right, we're going in a circle. Anthony.
Basically the same, but swap Astrid and Janet, because Astrid's the reeve of a city. That comes with perks.
That's true. That's a good idea.
More perks than captain of the guard, I think.
I just don't know her. What if she's actually the worst?
Then
All
you
we know
divorce
is
her
she's
and marry
got
Yulumfa.
really cool horns.
Honestly, I'm with Anthony on this. Same positions. Although, yeah, I just like Astrid's aesthetic more.
To no one's surprise, I'm sure. Samies.
Wow.
Okay,
Boring.
someone's got to fuck Sarze though.
I have mine, actually. I'll do mine next. I'm
Go
going to
for
fuck
it.
Sarze. I'm going to marry Janet. I'm killing Astrid. I'm becoming Reeve of the city. What's good?
Fair. Yeah,
Boom.
that makes sense.
I abstain because I am an over-god of this world, and I don't care much for the mortals that dwell within it.
Okay. Wow.
dude.
I'm
Okay.
going to kill everyone.
Yes.
That's
And marry
fair.
Yulumfa.
I think, though, Denny, I can change your mind with my version of this question. You're really going to want to weigh in on this one?
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill. Card track. Marry, miss. Valen.
Oh, wait, hold on. Are both of the fun questions a marry, fuck, kill?
Yeah.
Oh my
had-
god.
We had to decide which NPCs to use.
We had two versions, and I need to know the answers for both. I actually have another one, but it's honestly, it'd be too long of a conversation. I want to wrap this up, so we're just doing this one. I'm going to save the other one for later.
Okay.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Go in the reverse. Denny first.
Pump the
Yeah,
big
Denny
sheet.
first. I know
Okay.
you want to weigh on this one.
Sorry.
Card
what were-
track. Card track. Marry, miss. Valen. Obviously.
See, the difference with this one is I don't want to marry or fuck any of these people.
I'm shutting down this campaign. I've let you all think too much about these characters, and I'm not having fun.
I simply don't understand. Okay, you just have to make a decision. I think it should be pretty obvious.
I
okay?
abstain.
That's valid.
What? That's
Okay,
Valen?
wow.
He said Valen.
I said that's valid. Valid. You're allowed to abstain.
I just don't understand. Clearly, everyone's been thinking about this on their free time, right? It's not
Right.
just me.
Yeah, clearly. What I was thinking was actually I was gonna have a fake marriage to all three of them and then kill them all in their sleep.
You
don't
want to kill
understand you guys.
Maramus?
I'm
Obviously,
killing
you marry Maramus. What are you talking about?
I don't.
That
give a
guy
sh-
sucks.
You treasure Maramus.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then
yeah.
you kill
Hell.
the other two.
Oh, he's something fishy about Merriman.
No,
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm on
okay,
your side.
here. I texted this to Dallas, but I didn't explain my thought process about it. But I'm gonna fuck Carjack because he's been alive way longer than he should be. You have to assume his stamina is pretty good. You know?
Great.
Also, he's probably a shape changer. So you know.
Yeah, he's probably not
Probably
actually
not
Carjack.
him.
So who
Think
knows?
of the application.
It's like a mystery bag
I hate
situation.
this.
You don't know what you're gonna get. And then obviously we're killing Dallin because his skin is droopy, and that sounds nasty.
Wow. Anthony, this is I agree.
I also hate this, but you know I had to make a good point, right? So.
It was a
Denny,
good
you
point.
agree with me?
No, I abstain. This is all bad.
Well, this is really unfortunate. I thought maybe this would be we would
This
learn
is
a lot
just a
more
me
about
and you
everyone.
question,
It
Christy.
was
I think we
funny.
were way more into this than
It
anyone
was
else
funny.
was.
I guess so. Truly upsetting. That's fine, I guess.
I'm too busy trying to develop a plot to answer these kind of questions about these characters.
So we can't just
Okay.
have fun sometimes.
No, you can. I can't. I don't have that luxury.
I don't have
Wow.
fun.
All right. Well, when either myself or Ryan DMs, then I'm going to be literally asking you this about every single fucking NPC that I make. And you know what? I'm
me-
not a coward. I'll say it about my own NPCs too. So,
You know what?
like that.
Let me pose to you a third fun question.
Ooh.
Marry, fuck, kill,
Yeah.
Malden, he who hungers, and the true ferryman.
Whoa.
Fuck 'em all.
How about that?
Interesting. Okay, wait.
I
So,
want to fuck he who hungers. Those fingernails are not
Ooh.
safe for
Ooh,
the bedroom.
true,
Great
true,
point.
true, true. Hmm.
Marry
You
him.
marry he who hungers because you know he's gonna protect you.
Well, I
He's
don't
gonna
like this 'cause
provide.
two of them look like Abe, which is like,
He will provide
I'm-
souls for you. He will be an eternal
Abe is
lich.
sexy as hell. I don't know why you're.
Yeah, he's a snack. Don't you remember?
He is a snack. That's why he's hungry, man.
That's
Because
fact.
Abe's a snack.
accurate. I guess.
I really didn't want to do this with the PCs. I really avoided that.
Yeah, that was like the whole thing. Danny's the one making it awkward now. So
Yeah, because I'm awkward as fuck.
Well, so Danny, do all the ferryman and he who hungers look like Abe, or are they their true forms?
Well, we haven't seen their true form, so we're just going to go with the Abe versions.
Okay.
I think actually the only person who's able to answer this is Adam. So Adam, you go first, please.
Kill them all by healing my crystal.
Yep.
Wow.
We
This is
already
the-
know the answer. It's true.
There's
Two
some
down,
weak answers,
one to
weak
go.
answers.
Well, I guess I didn't kill Malvin.
Keeping it real.
Yet.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fuck Malden to death. How about that?
Fucked
There we
to
go.
death.
Heck yeah.
Quite the paladin.
Death by
I-
snoo snoo.
I
thought it was
going
gonna
to
be- I thought I was going to be satisfied by turning the tables on this question. I'm not.
There was never a way to be sad.
We're going to win this one.
You
Here's
didn't
the
think we
thing.
would have answers?
I just think like none of the boys are really comfortable answering this, and so I'm trying to be like more overt because I'm just I'm a little disappointed if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'll
So,
fucking do it. What's the question?
Malden.
Have you not been listening?
You've got Malden. You've got 15-foot Abe. You've got 7 something
7-foot
foot
Abe.
Abe.
Okay, all right. So Malden is a god, so I'm going to marry a god because
Great.
duh.
Totally fair.
I am
Logic.
then going to kill Hungry Man because he is far too big, and then I'm going to fuck the chosen because
I
that
love
just
it.
sounds like a great achievement, you know.
Thank you
Yeah.
for giving me a proper answer. Everyone
Thank
else,
you for playing.
weak. Yes. All right.
I'll take weak.
Send
I'm
it.
fine with that.
My answer is the same as Ryan's, so.
Oh my God. Come on, some
Look, you
originality,
can't just
please.
be different for the sake of being different.
That's true.
You absolutely can.
Makes a good point.
All right.
I do.
Here's what's up.
Just to jump back real quick.
Oh,
Nope,
thank God.
You may not. I'm wrapping it up. But okay, go
You
ahead.
I
love
just wanted
that.
to point out something. It's not related to this fuck, marry, kill stuff. It's
Oh,
the
thank
fact
you.
that I gave Elwyn a diamond, but I can't cast Revivify.
Yeah, you know what?
I looked that up later.
I was so
like, are you
confused.
actually good enough
I
to
wanted to
be
talk
a
about
high
this
enough
too,
level?
actually. I was like, I dropped the seed for you guys. Maybe you could go buy a Revivify scroll. They're
Yeah, I don't
gone. They
have
bought
that
the
kind of
diamond.
money,
They're
though.
gone.
But hey,
I
maybe
just
we'll
assumed
find
you
a
had leveled
random
up
cleric.
enough.
Well, I mean, we
Point where
need
you
to.
pass it.
We had to buy both, right? Wasn't that the ruling we
Yeah.
came to?
No.
Like, we have to buy the scroll and the diamond?
Yeah.
Because the
You-
scroll only
Well, the
costs
scroll
like
would
200.
cost-
Oh, right. Yeah,
It
you
would
don't.
cost like 800 gold or something.
You have to
like that.
pay in addition. Yeah.
So
That's
I didn't have
right.
that kind of
Well,
money.
but then there's
Well,
also
we
the
could've pooled
horrific,
money.
the horrific scenario where Draq is not a level 5 cleric yet, and he goes to cast this Revivify scroll, and he rolls below the DC to make it work, and 800 gold just disappears.
Come on,
That's
don't.
true.
Plus a life.
I knew that. I didn't want you guys to think about that. Ruin the suspense.
Seekers.
Fine.
Listen,
if we
bro.
die fighting the dragon ghost, we can get to Bromar probably in time before that body rots.
Yeah, we just won't be able to use that diamond for a while.
We
But
have
hey, we
one.
have
Keep
it.
the body in the water.
I don't think we would be able to find a diamond on the way to Bromar anyways. So at least
Plus, we
have
started
one.
up a mining operation.
Just
Yeah.
casually.
Yeah, I think that's probably where our characters are going.
I
so.
think so.
Alrighty, can I wrap it up?
We'll call it Abe Appraisals. We'll find
Great.
diamonds and appraise them.
Because again, it has to make sure that Abe is still part of like.
It has to be about Abe, of course.
Protagonist.
So we have to make Abe and Associates appraisals. There you go.
And that's a series wrap on.
He's
that.
gone.
Adam-
Alrighty, I think this is about as unhinged as I was hoping for. Is there anything I need to do before I do my normal exit here, Teni?
No, I don't. Hi, Adam. No, I don't. I don't believe
right.
so.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, thank you all so much for hanging out with us as we discussed our thoughts and feelings about this past episode, The Possessor, or as we're colloquially calling it, The Abe Show. Abe is number one. Abe is the best.
No,
and
no,
it's all
don't.
about Abe.
Love you, Adam.
Love you, Adam.
If you have any questions about Play Dicely, aka The Abe Show, that you want us to answer, you can send them to me, not Adam, on Twitter at CBKClo, or email them to me at cbkklo@gmail.com. That is all for us, and we invite you to join us next time on Play Dicely Abe Party. Goodbye.
Good night.